Hello everyone, I am Shweta J from Commerce Department, Gopal Swami PU College, Mysuru. Welcome back to Business Studies class. In last class, we have discussed about investment decision and financing decision. And in today's session also it is the continuation of the last class. Now we are going to discuss about dividend decision. It is also a very important decision among three decisions. Before going to understand about dividend decision, first we need to understand about dividend and retained earnings. You must know company should not distribute its entire profit to the shareholders. It has to retain some portion of profit that will be called as retained earnings, and it is essential for meeting day-to-day expenses as well as for reinvestment purpose in the future. Dividend means it is a part of profits of a company which is distributed among its shareholders, and it is also considered as reward to the shareholders for their investment in the share capital of the company. Once a company raises its required capital through the issuing of equity shares as well as the preference share, and it is the responsibility of the company to pay dividend to its shareholders. Retained earnings is also a portion of profit which is not distributed among its shareholders, but it is used in the business, and it is considered as internal finance which is used for reinvestment purpose, and it is also increases the earning capacity of the organization. So now there is a problem arise in the company. How much profit is to be distributed among the shareholders and how much profit is to be retained in the business. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅರೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬೈ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಡೆಸಿಷನ್. So dividend decision means it is a allocation of profit between payment to the shareholders as dividend and retained earnings. So with the help of the dividend decision, we can easily determine how much of profit will be distributed among the shareholders of the company and how much of profit is retained in the business. So while taking this decision, so we have to consider some of the factors, such as the first one, amount of earnings, the second one, stability of earnings, stability of dividends, growth opportunities, cash flow position, shareholders preferences and taxation policy. So the first one, amount of earnings. So as you all know, dividend is paid out of current as well as the past profits of the company. If the company earns profit, then company will give the dividend to its shareholders. On the other hand, if there is any loss, there is no dividend for the shareholders. So this is nothing but amount of earnings. And the second one is stability earnings. So it is also one of the important factors which is affecting on dividend decision. On the other hand, if the profits or earnings of the company is not stable or fluctuating, then company is not in a better position to declare high rate of dividend to its shareholders. So this is nothing but stability of earnings. Company profits is stable ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೈ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇಯರ್ ಟು ಇಯರ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ಕಂಪನಿ ಲೆಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. And the next one is stability of dividends. Here it is also one of the important factors which is affecting on dividend decision. So stability of dividend, as you all know, the profits of each and every company fluctuate from year to year. We cannot expect fixed profits every year. ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷನೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So the profits of the company may fluctuate from year to year, but the shareholders prefer stable dividends. So the preferences of the shareholders for stability of dividend is also influences the dividend policy of the company. And the next one is growth opportunities. Take for example, suppose a company having good growth opportunities, then it can retain more money out of their earnings in order to invest or in order to finance their required investment. ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್, then it has to retain more money out of their earnings. So for this purpose it has to retain major portion of the profit as retained earnings. So in that case obviously shareholders cannot expect high rate of dividend from their companies. So the dividend in the growth company is therefore smaller than that in the non-growth companies. The next is cash flow position. Payment of dividend to the shareholders is considered as expenses to the company. So according to this factor, each and every company should have enough cash to declare dividend to its shareholders along with its profit. The next one is shareholders preference. While declaring the dividend, management should keep in mind the shareholders preferences in this regard. So as I told in the beginning, dividend is considered as reward to the shareholders for their investment in the share capital of the company. Since dividend is the right of the shareholders to participate in the profits and surplus of the company for their investment in the share capital of the company, and they should receive fair amount of dividend from the company, and at the same time company should also pay reasonable amount of dividend to its shareholders. And usually there are always some shareholders who depends upon a regular income from their investment. So for this purpose a company need to pay dividend regularly to their shareholders. So that is nothing but shareholders preference, and it is also affect on dividend policy of the company. And the next is taxation policy. The tax policy of the government and the tax position of the shareholders of the company is also affect on the dividend decision. If the tax rate is high, then company declare less rate of dividend to their shareholders. If the tax rate is low on the payment of dividend, then company will declare high rate of dividend to their shareholders. Tax rate ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸು ಹೈ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ is also influences on dividend policy of the company or dividend decision of a company. As you all know, shares are debentures of the company listed in the stock market. If the share prices is increases, then company is in a position to declare high rate of dividend to its shareholders. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Whereas if the share price decreases, then company is in a position to pay less amount of dividend to its shareholders. ಯಾವಾಗ ಶೇರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ is access to capital market. As you all know, large and reputed companies can easily raise its required finance in capital market. When large and reputed companies raise its required finance in the capital market, then they no need to depend on its retained earnings for financing on further investment. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಥವಾ ರೆಪ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಆಗ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವರು ರಿಟೈನ್ಡ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ರಿಟೈನ್ಡ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪೇ ಲೆಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ is legal constraints or legal restrictions. So here legal restriction is also one of the important factors which is affecting on dividend decision of a company. According to Companies Act 2013, each and every company should follow certain provisions while declaring dividend to its shareholders. Here some of the legal restriction. The first one is under the Companies Act 2013 section 123, company should pay dividend out of its current and past profits after charging depreciation. This is one of the legal restrictions which is to be followed by each and every company while declaring dividend to its shareholders. Company ತನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಲೀಗಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್. ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಲೀಗಲ್ restrictions which is followed by each and every company while declaring dividend to its shareholders. And the next one is contractual constraints. So it is also very important factors which is influence on or affecting on dividend decision of a company. So contractual constraints are contractual restriction which is imposed by the lenders or suppliers of the funds such as debenture holders or any financial institution. So take for example, there is an agreement between the company and lenders of the company. Suppose company A borrow loan of rupees 100 crore from the bank. Bank in the 100 crores ana company borrow madide. So then there is an agreement between the company and the bank, and according to this agreement, company should not paid more than 10% of dividend until the loan is repaid. Loan repay ಮಾಡೋವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ 10% ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಡುವೆ, so company has to follow this agreement and a company has to follow this restriction until the loan is repaid to the bank. So this is nothing but contractual constraints. So these are all the factors which are affecting on dividend decision of a company. So as I told in the beginning, or as I said in the last class, each and every decision is interrelated with each other. The first one is investment decision, second one financing decision, and the third one dividend decision. Now let me explain how these decisions are interrelated with each other. As you all know, investment decision concerned with how much of finance required for different assets. ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದು? ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಸಿಷನ್. The next, suppose a company decides the amount of investment, for example 100 crores. ಸೊ 100 crores ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮೆಷಿನರೀಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. So now we need 100 crores to carry out the business activities. The next, once we decide the amount which is required for the fixed assets, next we have to determine how much finance to raise from which source. ಈ 100 crores ಅನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ borrow ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ಆಸ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ನೋ, ಕಂಪನಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ issuing of debentures, issue of equity shares and preference shares, and they can take loan and advances from banks or any financial institution. And these sources of finance can be divided into two parts. One is a debt fund and the second one is equity fund. So here financing decision determines how much finance rise from debt fund and how much finance rise through equity fund. ಡೆಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂಡ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಫೈನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಅನಲೈಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ risk, return and cost involved in the sources of finance. And the next one is dividend decision. So once we raise finance or once we borrow finance from two sources of finance, then we need to carry out the activities by using such finance. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಾವು ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನೇನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. At last, if we earn profit, again problem will be arise in the company. That is how much profit will be distributed among the shareholders and how much profit will be retained in the business for the future purpose. And that will be decided only with the help of the dividend decision. decision. So here you can understand now. So each and every decision is interrelated with each other, and this topic is very important for your 4-mark question. So now I hope you have understood today's session. Thank you.